shoulder sling for, post PRP injection healing. Things are good. Talking to friends and staying busy is a good distraction from the pain I'm feeling in my shoulder currently.
Awesome. Well, we've got 2 videos to react to. We're going to start with Jim Rome. We're going to close with Jocko Willick. You ready for this?
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
All right. I will play this from my phone into the mic, and we'll play it in its entirety and then have you react to it. You ready?
Sounds good.
When you work. When you play. Don't mix the two. I used to take my family to the beach, and I would bring my briefcase. Or at the beach, I'm saying I should be at the office. Now my family's upset because I'm at the beach and I'm thinking office. Now when I'm at the office, I'm thinking what? I got to get my family to the beach. So things are not going too well at the office because I'm thinking beach, and things are not going too well at the beach because I'm thinking office. Here's what I learned to do. At the beach, be at the beach. At the office, be at the office. When you work. When you play. Don't mix the two.
What do you think, Mr. Matt?
Man, that one is a very fitting video for somebody like myself who's got a family, who's in a highly demanding career like mortgage, where even the best intended clients sometimes want or need you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I got to give credit to my buddy Scott Groves. He's a mortgage coach. He moved out to Vegas 3 or 4 years ago from Southern California. He does a daily call, and every Friday, I think I've heard him say it for the last 5 or 6 years straight, where he says, whatever your plans are this weekend, work the plan. If you're going to work. If you're going to play. Because it's okay. It's okay to tell folks, let's reconvene on Monday if it's a work thing. It's also okay sometimes to tell your family, hey, I'm going to knock out 4 hours of work from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Saturday. Then we'll, start our day Saturday. But it's so true. And I can talk about it, Mike, like I'm a pro. I'm still working on it, right? Like most things. And if you asked my wife, it might be one of the most important things to her is be present, right? She picked me up yesterday, funny enough, to go get this injection. And as we're talking on the way, she goes, get out of work mode. You're answering me like we're in a business meeting.
She called you out.
Oh man, dude. She is the very best, the most straightforward, sounding board I could have. And it's good because it's true, right? Like it's hard. And I think it's probably, some professions it's harder, but just the times we live in, it's so easy to get distracted. My boys both got into golf, Mike. There is nothing better for me to be present, put my phone in the bag, feel the wind on my face. We had such a good time the other day. It was raining. I told my kids, I don't know if we should, get out there, guys. And both of them come on, Dad, it'll be fun in the rain. Had a blast. And, my phone was in my bag, except for taking it out for a couple pictures or, to catch a video of one of their swings. But, it's true. And it's probably more true than ever for more people that would like to admit it. One of my strengths, Mike, is I'm self-aware. That doesn't mean it makes it easier for me to correct, right? I still got to do the work to correct. So it's a work in progress, but I agree with a lot of stuff that Jim Rohn said, and that's one of them. In closing, I think I got buddies who it's not even like work and family where you got to be focused on one thing. Some of them chase 4 or 5 things at once.
Yeah.
Different business ventures, different ideas, different things. And the older I get and the wiser I think I'm becoming, the more I realize to be truly good at anything, you've got to lean in to that one thing. And so, yeah, great reminder for me today. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. Again, I loved this particular one. Again, we're picking videos that we don't really know what's coming, but this one's important. And actually I saw the evolution, right? I'm old enough to remember when I went to work first as an accountant, we didn't really have cell phones. They weren't really that prevalent. They were around, right? The CEO would have one, maybe the VP of sales would have one because they were expensive. And then we went to pagers, and now these smartphones, it's so easy to pull out, and you're going to answer an email. The next thing you know, you've spent 75 minutes, doing it. And Yeah, I can definitely tell you, I made lots of mistakes on this aspect, right? I was not, I didn't do this well, right? I would work a lot and I was not present enough. So again, I think Jim Rome once again reminds us that, hey, if you're on it, like, dude, you're on a family vacation or you're at the beach, in his example, just be at the beach.
Yeah.
And what I would do now is I would leave my phone in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I would just know, I would have that reflex and just pull the damn thing out. I've gotten much better in my old age of, you know what? We're going to go to a movie. I'm going to leave the phone in the car. We're going to go to dinner. I'm going to leave the phone in the car. Right. Just because I know that at any pause in the moment, or, Olivia goes to wash her hands, I'm going to pull out that damn phone instead of being present. So yeah, if you're going to do it, right? It's like you said, your coach says, right? If you have a plan for the weekend, have a plan for the weekend.
Yep. Love it.
All right, let's transition to good old Jocko. My favorite book, actually, one of my treasured things, is an autographed Jocko Willink book. So I really appreciate him for signing that. So here we go.
Awesome.
Guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on, and he'd say, "Boss, we got this and that and the other thing." And I'd look at him and I'd say, "Good." And finally, one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem, and he said, "I already know what you're going to say." I said, "Well, what am I going to say?" He said, "You're going to say good." He said, "That's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good." And I said, "Well, yeah, when things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on the other one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution."
What do you think of that?
Oh man, that one fires me up. And it reminds you too, like looking back 12 years in mortgage, I had, a 10-year managing card rooms, career, before that, but especially, in my mortgage business. And I guess in life too, like you don't get better by everything being easy. Right. And any major breakthroughs, anything that I've ever accomplished that was worthwhile sucked at some point, was hard at some point. And it's probably the case for a lot of people in real estate, whether it's mortgage or real estate or title, or it's investors or anybody. Like the last few years have been hard. And when the sun comes out and it's shining and transactions are happening and things are good, some people are going to look back and go, man, I'm better because of all that stuff. For me, I've said this before. I appreciate the business and the deals and some of the success more than I did in the past. Cause some of us were flying so high in 20 and 21, we felt invincible. We were top of the world. I was half the originator I am today, yet I was doing a lot more business. And so I had probably like most people, a little false sense of thinking that I'm better than I was. Right. People have the opposite problem sometimes where they don't think that they're as good as they truly are. Yeah, any problems that I've encountered in business, it's made me better at business. And then on, the life and family side, the same can be true. Hardships I faced in my life. And I've heard a lot of people talk about this. I've seen so many people that have had great success where almost all of them have gone through hardship to get there. Right. It's very seldom where I hear, oh yeah, this guy just, went to private school, got everything handed to them, and then, went out there and grinded and created this huge company after 10 years. Those people don't have that grit, right? That some hardship and some adversity gives you. So I've tried to do this, and I've caught myself sometimes woe is me, sometimes playing the victim, but more often than not lately, I found myself looking at problems and going, somehow this is a blessing. Somehow this is meant to make me stronger, and I needed this. And so, the whole, when things are going bad, you're going to say good. That's a great one from Jocko.
Yeah. This video really encompasses his book, Extreme Ownership, which is something I think is sorely lacking in today's world. And the reason I think it's so important and why I love this, simple 40-second good idea is I never, and I mean the word never, want to give anybody else power over me. And the second you blame somebody else for the conditions you're in, you've given up your power. I will never do that. Everything that happens, good, right? I can get better. I can learn. I trusted that person. They stole from me, but I trusted them. I picked them, right? I will never. And this was before Extreme Ownership, but Extreme Ownership was the book that kind of crystallized what I was doing, because it's all power based to me. I don't want to give Olivia, my mom, right? I don't want to give anybody power over me. I'm not going to blame someone else. I'm just going to own it and move forward. Because once you own something, you can react, you can move forward, you can take the lesson, you have the power. If you blame somebody else, what are you going to do? Wait for them to say you're sorry? You freaking kidding me? That's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to wait for better conditions, different political environment, different tax rules, different this, no.
Just stop.
Yeah. You take the cards you're dealt and you make the best of it. I agree wholeheartedly. And sorely lacking. I agree with that
well, I'll go back to your card playing days. Again, in poker, unlike other, sports activities, whatever you want to call it, it's not always the person with the best cards that win.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you play them and how you play the other person.
Yeah. And just like in life too, you can make the right decision and things can go wrong.
Yeah.
You can get your money in good and you can lose. If you're, aware enough to realize, well, if I make that decision 100 times, I'm going to win 86 out of the 100 times. Keep making the right decision. You do that in business too, where you aren't always going to see the results of things that are good. A great example for me, and it's hilarious when I talk to people. I started making YouTube videos in 2014 and I was making them because they were making me better as an originator. I had to study a little bit to have the courage to say the correct things on a 6 or 8 minute video. And I thought to myself, these will help consumers. These will help my real estate agent partners. These will help loan officer colleagues. So putting these out, it's going to crystallize it and make me better. It's going to help others. So I don't know exactly, ROI or benefit from it, but I know it's good. And I did it year after year after year after year. It took somebody 5 years into it saying, have some friggin' strategy, brother. Like title a video, put a thumbnail on there. Then, you can point to stuff like Q1 of this year and say, your YouTube channel, the 6 straight years that you've showed up every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to talk to Zuber and the One Rental at a Time community, over 50% of the business came from people that we found online, which is really, awesome. Really cool. But yeah, in year 3, when 17 people are watching a 6-minute video because mortgage isn't that friggin' exciting. It's not as exciting as, dancing or trick shots or something online. People might've looked at it and been like, what a waste of time. What are you doing? And so, yeah, the true fruit is taking the hard path in most things in life. And so, things go wrong. Good. Guy called me with 7-4 suited and beat my aces. Good.
Yeah.
That's who I want in the game.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, this is a lot of fun, folks. If there's a video out there you want Matt and I to react to, go ahead and tag us on Instagram or something like that, and we will react. Matt, where can they find you?
Go to mtmg.com. Me and the team are more than happy to help. If you're an investor, we'd love to work with you, with tons of investors, the one rental at a time community. You guys all know that you hold a special place in my heart, my team's heart. So reach out. Let's put some deals together. There's deals being had. But really anybody, owner, occupant, self-employed borrower, getting a bank statement loan, you're getting a non-QM loan. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I've closed a lot of loans. I've talked to a lot of people and seen a lot of scenarios. And so there's, probably somewhere in me or Michelle or somebody on my team's history where somebody calls me and says, I've got a really unique scenario. Then they lay it out. I go, I actually did something very similar to that 3 years ago. And here's how we did it. Here's what we did. So everybody in the one rental time community knows you're going to get straightforward, honest advice from me. Whether that ends up, working with us or getting a HELOC at a credit union or being referred somewhere else. So go to mtmg.com. It's the best place to get started.
Thanks, family. Have a good week.
Yep. Thanks, Mike.
Mm-hmm.